Here's my video on the repair of the Kia Niro EV. This is the car. It's got 151,000 miles on it. And the range was going down and down and down until today. I think it was at about 30 miles of range. Totally showed a bad battery module. I'll show you what I did to get it back on the road again. My Kia Niro was getting less and less range every day. It started maybe 180, then 160, then 120, down to 60 miles of range. At 120, I took it into Kia and told them there was a problem, that it was getting less range than usual. And the guy told me after 2 hours and $200 fee that there was nothing wrong with it. My car is perfectly fine. I said, well, obviously there is something wrong with it. If it's down to 120 mile range, there's no warranty. Your warranty's out. It was 100,000 miles, and there's no problem. I said, I will be back. Brought it back again. They didn't charge me any more money, but they said, clearly, you need a new battery. And the price of your new battery will be $36,000. There's no warranty. There's nothing we can do for you. You can call this number at Kia and complain. And good luck to you. The car at the time was worth maybe $10,000, $12,000. It was new. It was $39,000. So why would I pay $36,000 to have a new battery installed? That was out of the question. So I started looking into alternatives, either buying one from a junkyard or something like that. Instead, I decided just to replace the modules that are bad, and this is how I did it. My Kia Niro is down to about 30 miles range full, maybe 40. You can see with, let's press the EV button, 37% battery it says, and 24 miles of range. We're going to replace the battery pack today, or rather replace the bad module in the battery pack today, and see if we can get the range back. So I've got this car scanner app which connects to my OBD2 reader in the car and will give me all of the information about the battery. Now this app is not great, it's not well organized. It does work. Yeah, I really can't knock it because I can actually get the data about my Kia here. Let's go back to this screen. This is what I really wanted to see. All my voltages are at basically 4.08, except for the one that's bad. Well, let's try to get to that one. There's pages upon pages of information here. Steering angle. You can actually see it when I change my steering wheel. State of charge also agrees to be 37%. There we see our big gap tooth in there. So I believe it's module 20. That's at 3.4 volts. So that's a full 1,000 millivolts of imbalance at this point, which explains my terrible range. Oh, it's 0.68 volts difference, it says here. Now we're getting to some voltages. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Why is it not giving me the voltages in between? The minimum cell does say 3.4 volts, a maximum cell 4.08. Max cell number, minimum cell number is 21. So we know that's the one that's a problem, and that's the one that we need to fix. Now when we're actually moving, let's see what the fade is here. Low cell goes down to 3.16, the high is 3.94. And I can tell, although you heard the squeak of my tires right there, the car is down on power. It is restricting me. I'm not in eco mode either. this only goes down to like 3.96. All right, we got about to go get the Kia up on the lift. We are going to pull the 12 volt here from the battery and pull the fireman loop right here. Maybe while it's still on the ground, we should get the back seat out and pull the service plug too. All right, the back seat just pulls up with great force. You cut the glue away from this cover and you get to the high voltage disconnect. Pull the lever. Bing. Now we're safe-ish. Good. We've got the skid plate off here, and we have access to all the connections. There's just a ground strap here, coolant hoses, BMS connection, high voltage connection, and that's it. That's all the electrical connections to this thing. If you look around the back, there are no electrical connections at all. So there's quick disconnects on the coolant hoses, and they'll come right off. So we can drain all the coolant before pulling the battery pack down further. Let it pee for a little while. This is battery modules out of another Kia Niro. This was sold to me by Jehu, Jag35. We think we need to take really just one slice of this to replace that bad module 21. Maybe to make it easier, we'll just take this whole 10S battery. I charge these to like 4.1 volts per cell. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sections of this battery. 4.42 volts full. I think it's at probably 41 right now, and we'll check before we put it in there. But that'll make it the easiest if we just replace this whole section, and we don't even have to take this back. High voltage connector off. There's this little detent you got to pull out. We pulled it out and it shot across the shop, so just get a good hold of it, and then you can flip the lever down. Careful, you do not want to break these. And they pull straight off. There it is, high voltage. Do not lick. Should have a label on there. And here's the BMS electrical low voltage connector. All off. And out of the way. Now we just need to do the ground strap and lower the battery. Now we can hit them with the power. Yeah, if we just went full bore with the impact, we might have snapped them. And look how long they are. All right, I think we got it. We think we got it all free. Let's see. Yeah, looks like it, yeah. Nice. Yeah. This is the underbelly of the Kia. That was the fuse, or rather service pole access. We got a little bit of dripping going on from these hoses there. We'll clean those out. You see just 4 connections, that's it. The pack is a little bit dusty and dirty, but not too bad at all. And from what we've read, there's just a gasket between the battery and the shell, the top and the shell. And if that's the case, we should be able to open this up without too much trouble. So we've tested all of the battery modules we can access, and they all seem fine. First of all, when we opened this pack, we had a big whiff of lithium, and very distinctive and very bad. Smells like the bus I'm working on. So we know something is bad. We've checked the voltage across. Some of these are 9 and some of these are 10 groups. And we've checked them all. And they're all fine, the ones we can access. So unfortunately, it has to be this group of modules that's underneath here, which is bad, which means we need to take the top layer off completely so we can access them, test them, but most likely that's the one that needs replacing. Carefully get a video of all these connectors and such as we start taking things apart. And it's all active high voltage, you know, as we're doing this. 40 volts isn't going to hurt you. 80 volts won't feel too good, but it's enough to cause some damage. I'm going to take these coolant lines off first, and we're going to blow out all the coolant first thing, so make sure that nothing. So this is the top battery we had to remove to get to what we think is the bad section. We've tested every section in this pack, and they all read fine except the one that was the most difficult to get to. But you see these batteries are made up of 10S. You can see there's 10 labels on these, and there's going to be 10 groups of 3, and the 9S. And you can tell the difference between them by counting the stickers, or these have the electrodes on the same side. These have the electrodes on opposite sides. So this is the good one. I know from reading the OBD2 connector, the CAN signals on this, that these were all at 4.08. All of the good cells were 4.08. 4.08 times 9 was 36.7-ish. And that's what this reads here. 4.08 times 10 was 40.8, and that's what this one reads. So we know this is good. We know this is good. When we come to the one that's in the pack still, that was in the Tesla, what would be called the penthouse, we will see that this is the 9, and it reads, no, I'm sorry, this is the 10, 40.16. That is low. It should be 40.8, and that, I think, is the culprit. The other side is the 9S. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. And this should be 36.72 volts, and it is 36.7, and it's 36.8. This is good. This we think is the bad. This is a 10. It should be 40.80, and it's 40.2, we said? 40.1? 40.1. So that's the one we're going to swap out. Now we have another module to put in here, and we're going to make sure it all matches up, but we're going to pull that off of the plate before we try to pull this one out and pull this one off the plate. Alright, so this is the module we are trying to replace. We could just do a slice of it. We really want to do the whole thing. So it's the, was it the 9S side or the 10S side? Now I need to look back and remember. If we just do the whole slice, that would be fine. And these are the connectors on the end. So we got this one. And this one. This is the unit I got from Jehu. It says OS-A and OS-B, whereas these other ones say DE and SK-A and -B. So they are different. Also from Jehu, this says BK330-A1001AS. This says BF330A002. So I think it's a different revision. The bigger thing that stopped us cold in our tracks here is these connectors seem to be different. This is 20 pin. Have to see what this is if we disconnect it, but this does not seem like the right thing. So we're going to try to take a slice of this battery apart anyway and see if we can put it in. This is definitely our bad module. This is a good module. So we found the bad slice of the good module. It's this one right apart here. So these things are fairly easy to get apart and get the modules out. And this one is reading 3.3, and everything else you said was reading 4.08, right?
Yep.
So that's it. So we're going to try to take a slice out of the good module and put it in here instead. 4.078. That's what all the rest of them were reading. So if we just take a slice out of the one of our good modules and put it in here, we should be okay. Now we found some connector differences and other problems, but as long as mechanically bolt-up wise they're the same, we're all fine. Now, this is the bad module, and although it smells a little lithium-y, it doesn't seem to be too swollen. I don't know, but it's a very nice modular design here. So we had to make a bit of a hybrid module. These other modules you see, they have black tops, and they seem to be a slightly later version of these batteries based on date codes. But we put 3 modules, or rather 3 slices there all together. Now we have 40.97. Now the new module we put in there, new slice of module, was higher than the rest, and we meant to discharge it before we bolted this all back together, but we forgot. And jamming this all back together was quite a challenge, so we're not going to undo it. We're going to send it and let the BMS do its business. It's 100 millivolts out, but it should bring it back in. Okay, our bad module has been repaired. You can see it's the stripe. Everything seems buttoned up, secured. Cooling's back on. BMS satellites. Seems all good. Double checked, triple checked. Everything seems ready to go back in. We're positioning the car over the battery and the battery under the car.
It's really close right where it's at.
Yeah. I'm going to drop this phone and go help align things. Battery is back in. Just turned the car on. Now the range says 278 miles. The refill inverter coolant was expected since we drained it and refilled it. And once we go, we'll be able to top it off. 278 miles range, it says now.
Sweet.
It said 30 when I got here.
Awesome. That's good news.
So the Kia is now working again. I don't know how long this fix will keep it good for, what the other downsides might be. Now this is a module from a different car, possibly even a different year car. If it has different capacity, if it has other problems, who knows? We could end up in the same issue again. But for now, at least, the car is working, seems to have decent range. I'm going to put it through its paces. Refill the coolant as I drive it some more, maybe burp the air out of it, and it still may go to Kia for proper burping and filling of the coolant, so they can open and close all the flaps and everything else that's needed and force the pumps to run to make sure the coolant gets everywhere. But I'm pretty happy with the progress. instead of a $37,000 fix from Kia, I'd say it's about, I don't know, under $1,000 to repair it, and I'm back on the road. Thanks for watching.